had diamond jewelry and a wad of cash, and he was handsome and he was dressed nicely. He spent $7 on me, but I was impressed. Like, that's all it took, too, for someone to get my attention.
Attention is what Jasmine Grace Marino had craved since childhood. Her dad worked long hours, and her mom struggled with mental illness.
That nurture and care, that closeness wasn't available. I didn't know who I was for a long time because I had become whoever I had to be to take care of her.
But it wasn't just her parents. At church, even God felt distant.
You don't want to mess up, because then you're bad. And then by the time I was 12, 13, I had messed up so bad that I thought I could never approach God.
Throughout her teen years, she found validation in the party crowd, boys and sex. Then after high school, while at a nightclub, she met a man who showered her with gifts and affection. A man she believed could provide everything she wanted.
So I felt connected to him and that I loved him and that he loved me.
By then, she was working as a hairstylist and planned on going to college, hoping for a stable future, a home, and a family. But that, he said, would take time. He had a better plan.
I know we can have a lot of money, we can have a business, we can have a family, like everything you want. Then it seemed like you can have all this stuff like sooner than later.
She'd soon realize his business was selling sex. She objected at first, but he was persistent.
He's telling me having sex anyways, I might as well get paid for it. He tried to talk me into it, I changed my mind, like go back and forth, back and forth. And when I said, if I want to stop, can I? And of course he promised, yeah, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to.
Then she saw an old friend who was making a lot of money as a stripper.
Her room is filled with clothes and shoes and jewelry, and like, she wasn't handcuffed to anything. She wasn't drugged, she wasn't beaten, like anything, she looked good. And I started feeling like, maybe I am missing out. Like maybe this isn't that bad.
So she agreed to go to a massage parlor where she could give it a try. But the shame and guilt quickly followed.
The first time I had to exchange myself, like nothing prepares you for this, nothing. It was just horrifying. It was so disgusting, it was so shameful.
After a few weeks, Jasmine told her boyfriend she didn't want to do it anymore. In response, he beat her up.
Oh crap, what did I get myself into? I'm not gonna be able to just walk away. This isn't that simple.
For the next 5 years, she worked as a prostitute, stuck in a cycle of codependency, fueled by fear and an overwhelming sense of shame. She left him several times, but always went back.
And he'd badger me, manipulate me, cry, show up with diamonds, I'll never hit you again. Then it would go to, but you're a dirty prostitute, no one will ever love you again, you're so disgusting, no one will ever marry you. You know, so I just stay and stay. There were some moments where I thought, okay, maybe this is gonna be okay. Maybe I will have the cars and the house and the family and the businesses, everything he's promising. I had to hope in something. And that hope that he would someday change and everything would come true kept me going.
But when she got pregnant by her boyfriend and he coerced her to get an abortion, she realized the truth.
That moment, I knew everything he promised was never gonna come true. I knew, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
After months of skimming cash off the top, she had the money and courage to leave and put a restraining order on her boyfriend. It was the last she saw of him, but happiness would elude her. The coming 3 years would see her addicted to heroin and returning to prostitution.
I wanted to be well. And I'll tell you, during the whole time of being trafficked and my drug addiction, somewhere in there, I knew that I was not created to live this life. I was just so trapped and I didn't know another way.
Finally, in 2006, she decided to get help after her brother died from a drug overdose. She was living in a rehab home when an older lady invited her to church.
And I was like 27, straight off the street, you know, felt like a junk tank. It was just so dirty and so gross, but all these people were in this church and they're all praising the Lord and loving life. And I was like, what do they have? And she goes to take me home and she turns around and she says, honey, do you want to know Jesus and how much he loves you and can wash you clean and forgive you? And I was like, yes, who is he? And I'm like crying. And I literally received Jesus that day in the backseat of a car.
Jasmine overcame her addiction, but still carried the burden of shame, telling no one about her old life. 5 years later, at a church women's group, Jasmine, now married with children, found the courage to speak up. One of the members was talking about ministering to women in the sex industry.
And all of a sudden, I'm on fire. And I have to raise my hand and tell her, I had a pimp, I danced, I was on drugs, I did everything you're talking about. How do I help young girls so they don't end up like me? And she said, oh, you're a survivor, you're amazing. All these ladies started clapping, and they were all thrilled. And I couldn't believe the roof didn't set on fire, because I just told you my deepest, darkest secret. And everything changed from that moment. The Lord was just healing me, and it started to feel empowering in that if I had suffered all that, but now I can help heal somebody else, then that's okay with me.
Today, Jasmine is not only a survivor, she also works in the anti-trafficking movement. She says by God's grace, she is a new person.
I see myself so much now as how Christ sees me, and my identity is in Him, and my security is in Him alone. Oh my gosh, that changed my life.
Left to our own devices, our lives are quite a mess, aren't they? And the promise of Jesus, when we come to Him and turn it all over to Him, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is that He'll take our mess and give us a message. The message isn't about us. It's not about what we can overcome or that we finally wised up one day and made a different choice or decision. It's not even that somehow we devised a plan and got free. The message is that He came to set us free, that only Jesus can do that. It's in her life, did you notice, it's not just that she got out of what she was in, there was still shame. There was still a secret that she kept hidden for many, many years because she felt like it made her unacceptable. But Jesus says that in Him we have forgiveness. In Him we have the kind of healing that makes us whole, that sets us free from what was and allows us to walk into all that He has purposed for us. And here's the great thing is when we allow that process to happen, then we begin to tell that message, to share that truth, and other people come free from what they're in. God has a very big plan, and you are a part of it. There's nothing you can do, nowhere you can go to separate you from the love of God. It's everywhere. It's all around you. He's all around you. Now give Him what's left of your life. Allow Him to come into the middle of your brokenness and give you a message that sets you free and allows you to have a part in setting others free as well. If you need someone to pray with you today, our line is always open. Our number is toll-free. It's 1-800-700-7000. Don't wait. Call now.
Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.